Alright, you clicked on this video because you think your art fight profile looks like garbage, didn't you? Well, for one, be nice to yourself. For two, it's okay to want things to look aesthetically pleasing to you. So, stick around and we'll talk about how you can redecorate your art fight profile without HTML, while making sure you don't make it unreadable for others. In case you're here because you're just curious about art fight, well, go ahead over to part 1 of this series. The shorthand is Art Fight is an annual online art trading event, and we're talking about how to decorate your user profile, which might not answer any of your basic questions because we're in the weeds here in this video, okay?
Huh?
But if you're new here and know what art fight is, hi, I'm Grim. I'm a freelance artist who yaps about my experience making art, and this year will be my 9th year participating in art fight. This is my 4th video in my series about preparing for the event. Now, a lot of people think you gotta have a totally gorgeous aesthetic profile. Some people redecorate to match the theme, some people go the whole 9 yards with custom CSS code, some folks feel it's super hard, and some people sit around comparing their profile to others. But, to that last point, I want to tell you an important quote my best friend always says. Comparison is the thief of joy. Decorating your profile doesn't have to be hard. In fact, it can be super easy. You just have to know where to look for decorations and focus on what you want. So, let's dive into the details of decorating your profile, where to find decorations, what you can put in it, and some secret extra sections that nobody asked for. Okay, actually, one person asked for them, and I'm including them for you because I think they were a good idea. Let's start with just what is decorating your art fight profile. Simply put, it's a little more than just filling out some basic details about yourself. Now, this might seem wild because most modern social media doesn't let you do this nowadays, but you can put whatever you want in your profile. It's your HTML canvas to do whatever you want with. Or in my case, BB code, because I'm filming this video right before the HTML update. Customizing and decorating your art fight profile is another axis of expressing yourself, where you can show off what you love, your priorities for the event, or even highlight some of your characters. It is the first thing folks see when they head to your profile. Now, is it necessary to decorate your profile? No, but it is fun. Like, to be completely frank, as someone who's been participating in art fight for almost a decade, I just care that you're active during this year's event and have characters I'm interested in drawing when I look at someone's profile. That said, if you have decorated your profile and filled it out with stuff you love, you could end up making a lifelong friend through common interests. I have at least one really close friend, whom I'm betting is in this video premiere chat right now, that I met through art fight. The big question of how to decorate your profile is really more of a matter of where to get resources to decorate. And you can get all sorts of decorations from the art assets page on Art Fight's website. So this is the official page. You can get to it through the help tab, and they will direct you right here to the official Toy House world. Now, if you're feeling savvy, you can also go to places like DeviantArt, where there are users who make all sorts of decorations just like this stuff. Just make sure you double check permissions for if you can use the decorations offsite and if you need to provide credit. I like going to the account profile decor personally. You can see they have all sorts of different labels and folders for things you are looking for. Just all kinds of stuff. Speaking of things you can use, you want to look for things that will be labeled FTU or F2U, which both mean free to use. And that'll help you pick things out. You can buy stuff, but you really don't have to. Artfight is just meant to be for fun. I'll also note that you can also use HTML to customize your profile after the scheduled maintenance is done. I'm not going to teach that here because that is a whole other thing and I'm not good at HTML, but I'll leave some links in the description to resources for anybody who is interested in getting their hands dirty with some code. We're gonna head over to my profile. And I don't know what I want to do too much decoration-wise, but as you can see, I have a bunch of images inserted here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find some decorations that I want for this year. What do I want? I think I want to look at the ribbons for Artfight. Now, the thing is because the theme is not out yet for this year, this is all going to be for Stardust and fossils mostly. But there's occasionally some more generic things you can play with. The thing is I also really like my vampire decorations, so I'm probably going to scroll back until like previous years to see if I can get anything. You can see there's all sorts of thumbnails for attack borders if you want to do those. I personally like doing that because it's really nice to look at my profile and know which attack is from which year, but again, you really don't have to. People make all sorts of custom ID cards, although Artfight does tend to release official ones each year, which is super cool. There are code templates for BB code, which is super cool. I didn't know there were whole entire templates here. Anyway, if you don't want to do all the layout work yourself, you can just get some code. You can just get some code that you like. There's also, if you happen to have donated enough to get CSS access, there's a bunch of codes and templates you can use for these, which is super cool. And people are starting to get HTML codes together, so there'll probably be more after the update closer to the event. Okay, and these are ribbon versions of all of the team profiles. Those are cool. Those are very cool. I could use these instead of the official Artfight ones. I might have to, because they're pretty cool. How far do they go back? They go all the way back to zombies, so I should be able to do that. Oh, these are super duper cute. So these buttons are basically just things that you can use throughout your profile, and those are super rad. Little things to show off like do's, don'ts, questions. There are so many things to flip through in here. I feel like there's... Oh, I'm not logged in, am I? It says there's 35 in here, but I can't see them because I'm not logged in. Okay, so you do need to be logged into DeviantArt to see a good chunk of these. I've now learned. So, good to know. And now I do know. Oh, profile decor is pretty cool. They have some very fun, basic stuff. The flowers. The flowers are mega cute. I do really like those. There's also all sorts of bullet points for if you want creative little bullet points. So, I've gathered the decorations that I want to insert. I think what I'm going to do is... I'm gonna fix my font size because some of it I think I just accidentally have quite small by accident. And I think I'm also going to remove the formatting on a lot of it. This will just give me a nice fresh start by getting rid of all my formatting. And I can come back to it later on. So I am going to start off with replacing my official like little banners that ArtFight puts out every year with those ribbons because I think they are super freaking cute. Now, I need to find the coffee banner. I'm going to copy the image and then we'll go over here. And to insert an image, you just click the button that says insert an image. If you're not sure what a button does, you can hover over it and you'll get alt text. Oh, I hit copy image. That was wrong. That was wrong. Copy image link. And then insert it. And I'm pretty happy with the default height for that, so I think we'll keep that there. And as a note, if you're ever not happy with the size of the image, when you're inputting it, you can go in and adjust the height and all of that. And that will make sure it displays at the size that you want. And now I've inserted all these ribbons. I am gonna remove these tiny little bats though. I don't want these tiny little bats. They're not my fave, but I am going to grab this and insert the image. Yeah. Nope. Nope, I copy pasted a little wrong. Oh, whoopsies. All right. I like that. I'm gonna hit submit and see how it looks. Make sure I'm not breaking anything. All right. So far, not too bad. And of course, obviously, you don't have to have everything centered like I do. I just come from the old days of DeviantArt. Now, as a note, I've mentioned it before, this video is going up when the scheduled maintenance is happening. So if this is a little different after that maintenance is done, please be kind to me. I'm doing what I can. Anyway, now that you've seen how to insert an image, where to get images, you can see the basics of decorating your profile. It is a super fun way to show off your favorite aesthetics and themes, and it can be a fast way to communicate all sorts of things about yourself. Because, well, you're an artist. You shouldn't just limit yourself to using words. And if you wanted to, you could even make custom decorations and then host them somewhere and add them to your profile. Now, that's all decorating, but what do you even put in your ArtFight profile? That part is super up to you. But considering a blank text box is scary, I will throw this suggestion out there. We are all artists on ArtFight with OCs, so talk about what you like besides art. Or get really specific about what you like about drawing. You don't want to say too much about your personal life because internet safety, obviously. And while I don't make these videos for minors, I know a lot of minors participate in ArtFight, so if you are a minor, please don't include your age on your profile or even say that you were a minor. That is basic safety, not to broadcast that info into the world. Let's see. Going over to my profile. I love my OCs, obviously, but everyone on ArtFight loves OCs. So I talk about what I do for work and my main hobby, because most of my OCs are for my TTRPG games or stories. And I also talk about specific things I like, such as games, media, anything I particularly dislike, because it can be really funny to be like, yeah, I like pineapple on pizza. I also tend to talk about my plan for ArtFight, like if I do revenge chains, friendly fire, or what have you. And lastly, I like to encourage folks to check out my friends' profiles because, well, odds are, if you're interested in my characters, you're probably going to be interested in my friends' characters, and that can help people find new folks to attack. As I mentioned earlier, decorating and filling out your ArtFight profile isn't necessary. If you're content with being super simple about it and you don't want to include any of this nonsense, that is totally fine. You absolutely do not have to do that. It also occurs to me that I should update my ArtFight credits. Crediting someone is literally just as simple as grabbing where you got the stuff and including their username and linking right to it. So I'll submit these changes. I'm sure I'm going to fine-tune this later when I'm not filming a video. But the next thing I want to talk about is character permissions. This is a little bit of a side note, but it's in your sort of settings tab, so it's worthwhile to visit. Your global character permissions show up on every single one of your characters and are for what applies across the board. Like in my character permissions profile, these are all about setting boundaries. You'll want to include do's and don'ts that you want to see for your characters. If you keep including something in every single one of your character permissions, just put it in your global perms. It helps keep you from having to type it out every single time, and remember to do that. Doing this sort of stuff is important because it helps you have fun during art fight. OCs can be quite personal, so this helps you set boundaries of what you are and aren't okay with. That way, even if it's with good intentions, you minimize the chances of getting art that includes something that might be upsetting to you. I'm going to go in and clean this up a bit later on, but for now I've at least reset my formatting, so things will hopefully be nice and simple and not broken at the moment, but I can do the rest later. The very last thing I want to talk about is how to keep your profile accessible. Accessibility matters in web content because not doing so denies people with disabilities equal access to information. So, pretty please, do not excessively use things on your profile that are hard to read or hurt people's eyes. That means neon colors, flashing lights, excess motion, that sort of thing. Or, personal bugbear here, white text on a white background. I know you're using dark mode, and you think that everyone is using dark mode, but some people, like me, are art fight old farts who are used to when there was no theme. So just so you know, setting your text to white makes it very hard to read. Then people have to highlight your text to read it then if you do that. As a quick example, let me set this to dark fight. Behold, my site, my profile, nice and dark. I think it comes from people going, oh, I'm gonna make it orange. Wait, I don't think I actually like this color. And setting it back to white. That's not white. Hold on a minute. And setting it back to white and thinking that's fine and good. However, this looks great and fine here. But when I go in here and I put my theme back to light fight, you're going to see a problem. Where did my line of text go? And people will have entire profiles like this where you just have to go like this to read their whole profile. So pretty please, if you're using the dark theme and you want to reset your text color, remove the formatting, not set the text to white. Just a little fun tip to not goof yourself up. Because also, this makes it a nightmare to edit. I get using things that might be eye straining a little bit. Like, I love glitch effects as much as the next neurodivergent person who empathizes with the idea of being a machine built to malfunction. But you want to be considerate to other participants. It's just like following people's permissions for the characters. If someone can't consent to seeing bright, flashy, eye-hurty red text on a bright green background, you shouldn't do it. To help out with this, I'm going to be providing some links in the description to places to check the accessibility of your colors so that you can make sure folks can read your lovely profile. It would be a shame to put in all that work and then people can't read it. And of course, don't forget to check it with the opposite theme to see how it looks for others. And that's how I decorate my art fight profile. I'm not the most fancy person in the world with it because I just don't want to be, but I like to think my profile is at least not bland. So, as long as you're having fun and expressing yourself and keeping it readable to others, you've done a good job with your profile in my book. Thank you so much for sticking around. I'm sorry this video on profiles is coming out right when the scheduled maintenance is happening to switch over to HTML. That said, I hope everyone has an easier time and more fun decorating your profile than I will, because you'll hopefully have a better editor. And as another note, this will probably be the last art fight video for a while, as the other topic I want to potentially cover is making attack borders, but I don't typically do that until the themes are out, obviously. So I'll have to wait to make that video. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to appease the algorithm gods with an offering of a like, sub, or comment, and I will see you in the next video. Be cozy, be kind, and make something cool.